Hey y'all, my name is Sarah Montgomery and you're watching Depreciation Nation.
Welcome to a new episode of Depreciation Nation, and in our quest to continue bringing single parents great possibilities for cars, behind me you will see a 2020 Nissan Kicks. Now before we get into the car, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button at the bottom right corner of your screen there so that you don't miss more awesome segments like this. Now, we've selected the Kicks for a number of reasons, most of which is its low price point, and we have driven it a few miles at this juncture, and to be quite honest, there is absolutely nothing remarkable about this car. Having said that, what it does is it does everything good enough. We have reasonable fuel economy, we have excellent reliability, the ride is decent, the handling is decent, the seating position is decent, and it will start and drive without any drama whatsoever. So, let's take a look around, let's take it for a drive. So here we are in the 2020 Nissan Kicks. If you follow the channel, you know that we have been in a number of cars, everything from classic Porsche to Acura NSX to the current Hyundais, the current Nissan Leaf, and the list goes on and on and on. The very first thing that strikes me about this particular car, despite the simplistic interior, which we will get into here in a minute, is the rather comfortable and remarkable seating position. The seats are upright, they hit me right in the back of the legs. I am 5'11". There is a pretty good deal of adjustability. The seats each have their own individual armrest, and just in general, I like the way that I'm seated in this car. Now, I referenced the simplistic interior, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. When I call it a simplistic interior, what I mean is that this will not be mistaken for a luxury car. The materials aren't exactly soft touch, but they are nicer and softer than they are in some of the less expensive Hyundais. What really grabs my attention, though, is the rather plain door panel that has just a giant slab of plastic and a door pull and window switches, and that is about it. This car reminds me a lot of the earlier Nissan Cubes, which I believe this car replaced, and I had a lot of seat time in a Nissan Cube. I think I put better than 30,000 miles on one back when I drove one as a company car, and I liked the car. The power isn't tremendous, but the CVT is responsive. As CVTs do, it will just hold gear until it reaches the desired speed, and it felt quick. It may not have been quick, and it may not have been as quick as it felt, but it felt quick. And I never turned down an opportunity to drive that car, and I had a few to choose from. I've referenced my love for the Honda Element. and a number of other vehicles that I had the chance to sample as company vehicles. And when I sampled vehicles as company cars, they really were put through their paces. We put everything in them that you can possibly imagine. We used them to haul things that shouldn't have been hauled, and over a 10-year period of doing that with a number of vehicles, we certainly got an idea of what worked and what did not. This being an entry-level car, and this being a lower trim level with a lower price point, of course you're going to get some simplicity with the interior, and it's still okay. And it still has technology, and it still has a touchscreen infotainment system, and it still has Bluetooth, and it still has phone connections, and we've still got our multimedia infotainment buttons on the steering wheel if we don't want to touch the screen. The gauges are simple, but they're easy to read. We have both a tach and a speedometer, and all of the information about the vehicle is in between those in a digital display. We have buttons and switches, which if you have watched any of our previous videos, you will know that I absolutely love, because that simplicity is what takes people away from their distracted driving. I mentioned this back when we reviewed the 996 Turbo, that buttons are great because I can drive, I can keep my eyes on the road, and I can feel for things that I need to turn on or turn off, versus a touch screen where I have to take my eyes off the road and actually look at the touch screen to see what it is that I'm manipulating, or what it is that I'm turning on, or what it is that I'm turning off. Ride is a little harsh, but still compliant. Harsh, but not uncomfortable. What I mean by that is that we've sampled a number of cars, and the Santa Fe probably has one of the best rides that I have experienced in anything. And if you haven't experienced a Santa Fe, and if you're in the market for a new car that's a mid-level SUV, certainly you might want to take a look at that. But if you are a single parent and you need something inexpensive, and you need something that is going to be relatively reliable, this car has plenty of room, has a tremendous amount of cargo space in the back. The rear seats fold all the way down, creating a level load floor, which you will not find in every car. And the AC blows cold, the car is relatively quiet, and we're gonna put some miles on this because we've got it for a bit, and I'm not at all upset about that. It's going to be a great experience to truly experience this car and everything that it has to offer. Fuel economy stands to be good. It's going to be in the mid-30s. We will see exactly where we end up on that while we drive this. But if you want a car that is cheap to run, cheap to own, cheap to insure, and cheap to maintain, you might consider the Nissan Kicks. And so that is the 2020 Nissan Kicks. Now, these have been around for a few years, and depreciation has affected these nicely as well. If you're looking for one of these, one can expect to pay somewhere in the low to mid-teens. Again, they are new enough that even on the used market, you are still going to be lucky and retain that factory warranty, and retain a lot of the more modern features that are available on nice new luxury cars today. So, if you need an inexpensive car, might consider the Kicks. If this doesn't work for you, check out some of our other videos in this series where we've sampled the Santa Fe, the Elantra, the Sonata, the Nissan Leaf, and a number of other cars. Who knows, you might find what you're looking for there. So, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen so that you don't miss segments like this, and we'll talk to you soon.